Welcome to all students in this digital lecture series. Myself Dr. K.M. Dadure, Assistant Professor, Bajaj College of Science, Wardha. Students, today I am going to deliver a topic, bioinorganic chemistry. The bioinorganic chemistry, the word itself is indicating the combination of two sentences. One is the bio and another one is the inorganic chemistry. We all know that what is the meaning of bio. Bio is the living system and the inorganic chemistry is actually belongs to the mineral system and mineral chemistry. So both these are joined together and to form a bioinorganic chemistry, where we will see both the biological and chemical system and their roles. So let's start with the introduction. Bioinorganic chemistry is the most recently explored field of the inorganic chemistry. And this chemistry deals not only with the elements and their compounds that are present in normal functioning of the living organism, but also with those which may exert some effects when entered into the organisms. And on the basis of this, the bioinorganic chemistry deals with the role of the metals and non-metals in the biological system. The inorganic elements, other than the carbon, especially the metals, are also a very vital role in the functioning of the biosystem. There are many biological processes such as photosynthesis, respirations, metal ions, transport, enzymatic actions, etc. etc. All these are fall into the realms of the bioinorganic chemistry, and therefore it is highly advanced interdisciplinary science. Let's see the metal ions. There are number of metal ions which are essential to the biological system, and some are essential but they may toxic. They may cause some toxic behavior when their presence is more than in their concentration. So in the given diagram we can see that in the images the biologically essential elements, in that the calcium, ferrous, zinc and copper, all these are the very important role in the biological system. As far as the calcium is concerned, we all know that the calcium is having a very important role to form the skeletons and tooth and then bones, and which also regulating the metabolism process, and they also regulating the nerves, muscles, and then promoting the growth to the tissues. Ferrous is also present and functioning in the liver, spleen and in the blood, and they transport the oxygen, synthesize the enzymes, and they also boost the immunity. Zinc in the eyes, liver and then kidney, they promote the intelligence, boost up the immunities and maintain the growth. Other than this, zinc having the number of multiple functions. Copper. As far as the copper is concerned, copper in the brain and then heart and then plasma, it regulates the endocrine systems and maintain the hematopoiesis, which accelerating the metabolism. As far as the hematopoiesis, the word this sentence is concerned, is actually the formation of the blood cellular component, and all the cellular blood components are derived from hematopoietic stem cells. That is called hematopoiesis. In the right hand side we can see that there are the two very known elements, mercury and then lead. As far as this mercury is concerned, students, we all know that the mercury is the poisonous in the nature, and it is also essential as far as the physiological process is concerned in the human physiology, but its excess amount may cause a dangerous effects. So biologically toxic effect in the brain, liver and then kidney of this mercury is when it accumulates in excess in the organs, and it creates the malfunctionings of whole human body systems, and sometimes it may damage the central nervous system also. Then after lead, The lead is disrupt central nervous system if it is present more than its concentration, and destroy the hematopoietic system. As far as the hematopoietic, I just explained these terms. Hematopoiesis. The hematopoiesis is the, again I just explaining here is the formation of the blood cellular components, and all the cellular blood components are derived from the hematopoietic stem cells. Means it may affecting the all the blood cellular component if the excess of the lead is occur in the physiology of the human body, and it damage to the skeleton, development damage to endocrine systems, and also influencing the intellectual development. So this is all about some essential role of the elements, and some element which are the essential, but if it is present in excess, they may cause some dangerous effects. Let's see the essential and trace elements in the biological system. Essentials and trace element in the biological system. Here we can see that out of the 118 elements, as far as this number is concerned, some author given 109 also. So it all depends upon the update of the elements. So here we are discussing with out of 118 elements, the 13 elements are the essential for the survival of the living organisms. Given periodic table is indicating the whole elements and their blocks, where we can observe the elements are mentioned in these different colors. So 13 elements are the essential for the survival of the living organism, and out of these 11 elements are the present in the bulk amount, while the 19 elements have very low in the concentrations, and that is the reason the element which is low in the concentration is called as trace elements. And out of these 19 elements, the ferrous, zinc, copper all are essential trace elements, while the remaining 16s are called as essential ultra trace elements. So here in this periodic table we can see that how this essential trace elements and ultra trace elements and bulk elements are represented. Now this is the chemical elements which is essential to the life, and then form and they are actually they divided into the different categories. We can see here the bulk elements. So bulk element, the word itself is indicating that the element which is present in the big amount, that is called the bulk element, or in abundant amount. In that the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfurs, all these are basically categorized into the bulk elements. Then after macro minerals and ions. Students, the word macro means large, in the large amount. So the macro minerals and ions in that category, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calciums, chloride, phosphates and sulfates are considered. Then after trace elements, in the trace elements there is a ferrous, zinc and then copper. The word trace means the elements which are in the rare form, which are in a very low concentrations. And ultra trace elements, that means ultra trace elements are again here divided into the two parts, in that metal and non-metals. In the category of the non-metals of the ultra trace elements is fluorine, iodine, selenium, silicon, As and then boron. In the metal categories there is a manganese, molybdenum, cobalt, chromium, vanadium, nickel, cadmium, tin, lead and lithium. All these are basically the metals which is considered and which is coming in the ultra trace element. After that we will see here the essentialities of the element. The word itself indicating that essentiality means what is the requirement of this element in our human physiology. So essential element is that element which is the required for the maintenance of the life, and its absence is result in the death or severe malfunctioning of the organism. And that is the reason in the biological system of the human body, in the physiological systems of the human body, we require all the elemental composition in the balanced form. Okay, so for an element to be identified as an essential, it should be the fulfill following criteria. And that is what, if the element is removed from the diet, a physiologically deficiency appear. The deficiency can be removed by adding that particular elements. Okay, we all know that, students, if any deficiency related to the ionic composition is occurs, so doctors is prescribe some supplementary food and some supplementary medicines. Okay, so some deficiency we can overcome and we can substitute it by taking some additional food and some diet also. So element is associated with a specific biochemical function in the body. That is very important. The element is associated with some specific biochemical functions in the body. It means that each and every element have some important role in the biological or in the physiological systems. Element is directly involved in the metabolism of the organisms, and the organism can neither grow nor complete its life cycle without the elements. It means that each and every organism is associated with some particular elements, and that particular element have its own role to process its biological system. Okay, it is present in the tissue at the comparable concentrations. The essential element, basically they are present in the tissues in a very in the balanced form, or in the very required form, not above and not below its concentrations. Okay, we already know that if any element is present above the concentration or in below the concentrations, it may affect, it may create some abnormal problems. Student, this is the graph through which we can see that how the composition of the element is vary, and if the composition of the element is vary according to its doses, so how the physiological system is work. In the left hand side we can see that if the responses and essential elements are in the normal form, so species is survive, and as we get increases the doses, we can see that the deficiency in the second case. And then after, this is the graph which indicating the optimal positions, and then after toxicities and then lethality. What it means that the working of this essential trace element, in this we can see the essential trace and ultra trace elements, they basically are required for the growth and survival of the cells and then organisms. Normally they occur and function in the cell at extremely the low concentrations, and usually below the 1 micromolar, and they are metal as well as non-metal also. The metals are generally the transition metal, as we already discussed in the first slides, and they have the universal binding sites in the body, and that can respond individually to the varieties of the different metal ion, as long as they are not blocked by the other metal ions. It means that in most of the functions of the trace element, most important is their role as metalloenzymes, and the dominant of them has been that the trace elements are essential because they serve as required prosthetic group in the active sites and as a coenzymes for indispensable metalloenzymes or metal ions activated enzymes. In the metalloenzymes, a fixed number of the specific metal atoms are firmly associated with a specific proteins, and these combinations produce a unique catalytic function, and it has been estimated that nearly the 1/3 of all the known enzymes require the metal ion as a functional participant. Okay, so every essential element is follows a dose response curve. So from this dose response curve we can see that these doses are vary. If the doses are the vary, the different as per the doses, the different conditions is created. Okay, in the left hand side we can say the normal doses is the survival point, but in any case the doses are basically less out. Okay, some deficiency is created. When the doses are optimal, okay, so some toxicity is also created, and then toxicity will create, so toxicity will create and cause some abnormal function of the physiology of the process. And at the last end, if any abnormalities occur in this ionic composition, so death may also occur. Okay. Now the very important biological functions of the metal and non-metals. So we will see here in the step by steps. As far as the role of sodium and potassium is concerned, students, this is the very important composition in our physiological system. If we combinedly see the role of the sodium and potassium ion, so here I would like to discuss the sodium and potassium ion is play a very different role in the metabolism. Sodium being an extracellular ion and potassium being an intracellular ion for maintaining the distributions and energy is needed for the potassium ions to accumulate inside the cells, and sodium ions is to be taken out. This is actually the mixed function of the sodium and potassium. But if we see the separate function of the sodium is the primary cations in the extracellular fluid in the animals and human. This fluid, such as blood plasma and extracellular fluid in other tissues, carried out the transport functions for nutrients and then waste. This is all about the functioning of and role of this sodium. What is the role of potassiums? Potassium is the main intracellular ions for all the types of the cells, while having a major role in maintenance of the fluid and electrolyte balance. Potassium is necessary for the functions of all the living cells, and they are present in all the plants and animal tissues. Okay, so this is all about the role of sodium and potassium in our biological functions. Now next, magnesium. Magnesium, it is the needed for more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body, and it helps to maintain the normal nerves and muscle functions. It supports the healthy immune system and keep the heartbeat steady and help the bones to remain strong, and it also helps in adjust the blood glucose level and energy productions. So this is all about the functions of the magnesiums, and we can see that it also works to produce the energy and convert the energy into ATP to ADP form, that means adenine triphosphate to adenine diphosphate, and number of different other function also. Then up to calcium. Calcium biology is basically having some other so many important functions in our physiology. So calcium ions contribute to the physiology and biochemistry of organism cells. They play an important role in the signal transductions pathway. It means that they act as a cell signaling, okay, and play an important role in the signal transductions pathway, where they act as a second messenger in the neurotransmitter release from neuron, and it helps to form and maintain the healthy teeth and bone also. This is one another function. It also help in activations of so many enzymes, and most importantly in some some blood coagulation it also work in a very efficient way during the bleeding. What is the role of zinc? So as far as the zinc ion is concerned, students, zinc is participating in more than 200 enzymatic reactions in the body, and it play a key role in the synthesis and stabilizations of the genetic material, and it is necessary for the cell division. It needed for the body defensive system. It means that it very required to increase the immune systems of our body, and it is therefore considered as the essential for the tissues growth. So this is all about the functioning of the zinc. After that, the role of Fe. The role of the Fe is very well known functions, and many enzymes is involved in the metabolic process. They contain the iron. Okay, and iron is play an important role in the transfer of the oxygens by hemoglobin. So one of the most important functions of the iron is in the heme synthesis, which forms the hemoglobin. A protein is found in the red blood cell. So this is the very important one. And most important, the natural phenomenon, we all know that the conversion of the nitrogen to the ammonia at nitrogen fixation is also the well-known function of your Fe. After that, cobalt. So cobalt is the basically very essential trace element, and that is the integral part of the vitamin B12, which is the essential in the metabolisms of folic acid and fatty acids. But beside this cobalt is also involved in the productions of the red blood cells and is important for the proper functionings of the nervous system. Okay, so this is the role of cobalt, and this cobalt is also called as cobalamin. Then after, the role of the manganese. Manganese participates in the many enzyme systems, and it is essential for the growth of the maintenance of the nervous systems and the development of the bones and joints. This is the important role of manganese. What is the role of the nickel? So role of the nickel is play a very well defined role in the biological system, and it is the necessary for the biosynthesis of hydrogenase carbon monoxide. It is necessary for the biosynthesis of the hydrogenase carbon monoxide dehydrogenase, and they found in number of bacteria. Nickel also present in the RNA and DNA of our body, where it functions is associated with the nucleic acids. So this is the very important role of nickel. Then after, the functions of the molybdenum. The functions of the molybdenum is a very essential, it is an essential nutrient basically, whose main function is removing the toxins, particularly from the metabolism of the sulfur containing the amino acids, and it involved in at least the 3 enzymes: sulfite oxidase, which help sulfite transform into sulfate. So this is the very important function of molybdenum in our physiological systems. So that is all about the functions of the metals and their roles in our biological functions. Let's see the functions of non-metals. So in that, the phosphorus is the main functions of the phosphorus is in the formation of the bones and teeth. We all know that. And it also play a very critical role in the cell development and is the key component of molecule that store the energy, such as ATP, that means adenine triphosphate. And it is an essential element which contained in many cellular compounds such as DNA and energy carrier ATP. So this is all about the phosphorus. What about the selenium? Despite the small concentration in the body, the selenium has a unique multifunctional functions in that catalytic, structural, regulatory, and its role as an antioxidant in the human health and maintain the normal liver functions and protect the body from the toxic minerals such as arsenic, cadmium, mercury and lead. After that, fluorine. Again student, the fluoride is very well known elements which role we already knows in our previous classes. So fluoride is help to strengthening the tooth enamel and they protect the teeth from the damage by creating the component with calciums and phosphorus. However, if it is absorbed too frequently, it may act in the reverse way and causing the teeth decay, osteoporosis, and harm to the kidney, bones, sometimes nervous systems, and muscles also. So this is the very important functions of the fluorine. It means that the normal and abnormal both the functions which is depending upon the balance systems and equilibrium balance systems of our ionic compositions in the body. Then after chloride functions primarily to regulate the osmotic pressure. It also involved as a coenzymes for digestive amylase and it is a component of the HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, in the stomach and is the part of the buffer system so that maintain the acid base and balance in the body. So this is actually the functions of chloride in our biological system. What about the iodine? Again, the iodine is very well known elements and in the vertebrate biology, the iodine primary function is a constituent of thyroid, thyroid hormones, thyroxines, which sometimes is also known by T4, and triiodothyronine, which sometimes also indicated by the T3 symbol. So the body is also need thyroid hormones for the proper bones and then brain development during the pregnancy and infancy. So this is also the very important functions of the iodine in our physiology. Student, this is all about some basic content and some important functions of the bioinorganic chemistry in this presentation. In the next presentation, we will see the porphyrin ring and their multiple functions in our physiology. Thank you very much.